Now that we've written our first program and have run it on the circuit board, let's consider other ways that we could come up with what we are putting into our code. So if you think about what we did here was we went to the language reference and picked out instructions. If we otherwise go to the editor and leave our sketchbook and go to the examples, we can see that they have a whole bunch of subcategories here. So if we click on basics, let's take a look at this blink. So they have some description of the connections on the circuit board, and then they have their code. And you'll notice this looks quite similar to what we created. One difference is they have LED built in. We didn't use that because we wanted to explicitly define the pin. Let's take a look in the language reference and see what LED built in means. So in the constants, you'll find LED built in. So let's go look at there. And they're talking about constants high and low, input, output. And down here we have LED built in. And you can see that the particular board that we're using typically has a pin attached to an LED. And since we've defined our board as the Uno, they know that it's pin 13. So this takes on the value of 13 in our case, because we have it defined as Uno up here. So let's compile this code and run it on our board to see if it behaves the same. But so that we can be sure that we're running this new code, let's first change these values here to half a second. So here, let's compile it. And we can see that it is running at about twice the rate it was running before. So this is in fact the code. Note also that now blink, which is the example code, has a yellow icon here. This means that it's been modified. If we actually want to save this and work on this later with our changes, all we have to do is to save it with Control S, or on a Mac it would be Command S, and we can change the name. Well, we'll leave it that. And notice it now shows up in our sketchbook as that same name, blink copy. So this means that any code that we grab from the examples, or as we'll see later in the libraries, we can save it out and it shows up in our sketchbook. It makes it easy for us to start from a set of code or easily copy from another piece of code into our code.